Let's see. Okay, so I'll pin my video to the top, and that way I think that then it only records the speaker view, so it doesn't record you guys. So it's a good segue because I was thinking that, as we're nearing the end of 2020 and we're coming to the holidays, and it's a really nice time to kind of just think about this year in the life, and especially this tumultuous year, and find ways to practice gratitude for everything, which is something that I definitely struggle with. Yoga teachers are students also. And I thought it might be really nice to just to have a kind of reverential practice. And, in the readings that I've been doing, I talked a little bit with you guys about the recognition sutras. It's the recognition of the heart sutras, Pratyabhinya Hridayam, which is a fundamental tantric text for Anusara yoga. It really talks about this idea that everything that we feel and everything we experience, it's all divine. And so there's not, in some religions and some practices, it's kind of like, looking for ways to improve yourself, and you'll be like worthy when, you achieve X, Y, or Z, or when your body looks this way, or when you don't pass judgment on someone else. The idea of the Tantra and this specifically the Heart Sutra is to already embrace yourself. I think I talked about this a little bit, but yourself as, already being divine, perfect, grace, and that it's a matter of moving through a practice to uncover all the layers of judgment and critique to get to that place. So I have a dog on my yoga mat. Let's see. Okay. Let's find a seat. Atticus, lie down. Lie down. Atticus, lie down. Good boy. You can come to sit in Sukhasana or Tadasana and roll the thighs in, widen the sitting bones, create space. This is a practice where we really want to create space to open our heart, to embrace just everything with love. And so as you find your seat, you rest your hands gently on your thighs, close the eyes or keep them soft, and begin to breathe with intention, but not too much effort. So a slow breath in through the nose and an exhalation out through the mouth. Noticing the elements of your body connected to the earth, and the elements of your body connected to the space above the earth and around you. Notice the sensation of being connected to everything. Sensation of your feet touching your yoga mat. Your sits bones rooting you in place in the seat of the yogi. Notice your heart, and as you inhale, see if you can lift your heart and expand and broaden the shoulders, opening. Notice as you inhale to see if you can grow the side body tall and reach up through the crown of the head to touch the infinite and to hold that space even as you exhale, breathing the infinite back down through your whole being. The recognition sutras say that we are already divine. We are divine consciousness already. We are that creative energy, and it's just a matter of coming to embrace that and recognize our heart. And so as we're coming here to the holidays, the end of 2020, I wanted to take a little bit of a longer moment here as we're breathing and opening our heart, rooting ourselves in this space and time, to take a moment to move through the year. Move through whatever comes up for you as you think about your story of 2020. Maybe there are memories that come up, emotions, and likely there are judgments attached to them. This one was a good one. This one was a bad one. See if, and I'll stop talking here in a moment and let you do this, but see if as things come up, if you can sit with it for a moment, whatever the judgment is that you have for it, see if you can surround it with love, like just this glowing embrace. Thank it for everything that it's taught you, and then as you exhale, send it off to a little boat in the river and move on to the next. And so we'll sit here for a few minutes, just allow things to come up, embrace them with love, and send them off. And just another minute, and then we'll begin our practice. There's no hurry. If you haven't gotten through the year, it's just a practice. It was a big year, so I'm sure a lot comes up. And wherever you are, wrap that energy all around whatever it is that you're moving through in this very moment. And find your hands in Anjali Mudra at your heart. Inhale, lift your heart into your hands and expand and open, drawing the shoulders back, the throat back, and bow to your heart for a moment. And then slowly, gently release your hands back to your thighs and open your eyes. And welcome again. So here we are practicing gratitude and that embrace of love, or willingness to try to embrace even the most difficult of memories, emotions that arise with love. Let's begin by coming to table pose and moving with reverence and grace through each movement of our body, remembering that reverence and that love. Drawing your core to the center to create a neutral spine, then soften a little bit between the shoulders. On an inhalation, tilt the pelvis forward and draw your gaze, your drishti forward. Feel that stretch, that openness. And then exhale and round, bowing with reverence. Following the rhythm of your breath, moving through cat-cow several times. Noticing what's happening for you in the body and opening, a stretch, perhaps, maybe tight muscles. And just embracing everything with that glowing orb of love. Whatever. I'm coming to return to center. Take your hands as wide as the mat, and with intention and reverence, push back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale to open the heart, and exhale to root down into this pose. Really finding your way with grace into each asana, as if it's the only thing in the whole world, which it is in this moment, the only thing in the whole world. And our only effort in this practice is to open our heart to each experience and everything that arises. Come to a neutral position in dog and bend the knees really deeply. Tilt the pelvis forward to widen the sitting bones. Gaze between your hands, and on your next inhalation, hop or walk forward to meet your hands in Ujjangasana. Bringing the hands to the shins or keeping them up on fingertips. Inhale to bring the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. The shoulders draw away from the ears to keep that space, and then exhale, fold Paripurna, a really full fold of reverence. Inhale fully and release. Bending the knees, bring your hands to your hips. Draw the shoulders onto the back and slowly come to rise. Urdhva Hastasana, gazing between your hands for a moment, looking forward to 2021, and then exhale, hands come to heart, and we return to the moment. Hands down to Tadasana. I'm just going to move back so you can see me. You can stay at the front of your mat. We're going to move through sun salutation and some sequences that allow us to open the heart while at the same time folding forward for our embracing and with reverence everything from this year. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, dive down to Uttanasana, to the earth, to your foundation, checking that your feet are hip width apart and parallel. And then inhale, lift your toes and spread them wide, placing your weight evenly in all four corners of your feet. And slowly lower the big toe and the pinky toe, and the other three that follow, and bend the knee a little bit. Inhale to bring the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, plank pose, Palavakasana. Engage the muscles in your core and your legs, and inhale, looking forward for a moment, and then exhale, lower down to Chaturanga, hovering above the earth for a moment before lowering down with grace. Take the tops of the feet flat and rock the hips from side to side to create an inner spiral. Place the hands by your lower ribs. Press your toes into the earth and claw with your fingers to draw your heart forward and up for a baby cobra, Ujjangasana. Close your eyes and open your heart. Draw the shoulders back. And for a moment, just be in the space. On an exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply and exhale out through the mouth. Bend the knees, gaze between your hands, and hop or walk forward to Uttanasana. Bring your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, release your hands to your hips, bend the knees, and come to rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. The arms lift up to the sky, and the gaze follow. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend the knees. Inhale your heart into your hands and open across the chest, the shoulders and the throat. Draw back and release your hands down to Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up all the way, drawing that orb of love all the way up and pressing the hands together for a moment. Then exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step the right leg back into runner's lunge. Then we're going to lower the right knee for Ujjangasana. And take a moment to find your foundation, to find yourself in this moment. Drawing the left hip back so the hips are squared. We're facing forward, the shoulders come back into a space of readiness. And on an inhalation, you're going to take your right hand and come to press it just down so that the heel of your hand is pushing into your calf. The left arm comes forward and then lift up and reach back. Ooh. So we're rooting into the earth while also reaching up and out. Like we're rooting into this space of embracing this year and all of its ups and downs while also then letting it go so we can reach towards 2021. On an inhalation, lift up and back, touch your hands down, step back to plank pose. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, lower down and move through your vinyasa, coming to Cobra or to upward facing dog, whichever feels nourishing for you in this moment. And experience the moment, inviting grace into that experience. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. And bring the right leg forward to runner's lunge. Lowering the back knee, Ujjangasana. You can keep, for these Ujjangasana, you can keep the toes of your back foot curled under. You can also take the foot flat. There's benefit in both. It's a preference for your body. But root your right hip back so you get your hips squared and find your foundation. Then we're going to lift up and take the left hand to press into the calf and reach the right arm up and back. So we're grounding and also moving into a heart opening back bend. This practice of enfolding each experience with love is a little bit of a step towards faith and the unknown, because it's not an easy practice. A little bit like the unsteadiness we might feel in a back bend. And then lift up and come back. The left foot steps forward to meet the right in Uttanasana. Inhale, bring the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the right foot back again, runner's lunge. Lower the right knee on Tadasana. Bring the arms back with the palms facing up like we've done with high lunge. And we're going to sweep the arms up for a Ujjangasana, arms in high lunge. Reaching up, back. Inhaling, drawing energy from the earth, that grounding to embrace with reverence this moment. Then exhale, touch the hands down onto fingertips, and you're going to draw your hips back towards your right heel. Straighten the front leg and lift the toes. Inhaling, lifting the heart, and exhaling, bowing. Here you can be up with toes curled under, or you can take the top of the foot flat. I find it more accessible to keep my toes curled under. And this doesn't have to be a super deep stretch because, again, we're in the beginning of the practice, so your hamstring may feel kind of tight. Wrap your hamstring with some love and breathe permission to release some of that tension you may be holding in that space. On an inhalation, come forward, lift the back knee, and then step through to plank. You can move through your vinyasa, or you can wait in downward facing dog. We'll meet together there in a moment. From dog, we'll reach the right foot forward, runner's lunge, lowering the back knee for Ujjangasana on the other side. Sweep the arms back, the palms facing up, and then inhale, rise up, the arms lift up to the sky, bending forward while reaching the arms behind you in the back bend. Inhale, opening the heart, and exhale, settling. Exhale, touch down, step the back foot up to meet the front, Ujjangasana. Feet hip width apart and parallel, and inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow with grace, allowing your head and your neck to follow the path of gravity. And for a moment, pause, finding steadiness in your foundation, noticing where you're placing your weight and placing it as evenly as possible across the four corners of your feet. Take a full round of breath, inhaling all of 2020 and exhaling and letting it go. And again, one more time with intention, really breathing in deeply. Just breathe it all in. And then through the mouth, really loud, let it all go. It doesn't need to have power over you anymore. One more round of breath. And let it go and bend the knees. Release the hands to the hips and draw all the way up. Urdhva. Exhale, the hands come to heart center. And release the hands down at the side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a moment and find your foundation. Feet hip width apart and parallel, the knees bent a little. Tilt the pelvis forward and widen the sitting bones, then draw the core in a little bit. So you keep that slight curve in the lower back, but you're not collapsing forward. Lift the heart, draw the shoulders and the throat back and tuck your chin. Lift the corners of your mouth. Feel your heart full and able to offer grace to this year and all of its tumult. It's when we're in spaces of discomfort that my yoga and meditation teachers remind me that we're able to grow the most. So if anything, perhaps can be willing to invite gratitude and reverence for these opportunities to move through discomfort and find our way to the other side. Inhale, the arms rise up to the sky, Urdhva. Exhale, dive down. to Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg all the way up to the sky, and exhale, sweep the right leg forward, runner's lunge. For a moment, find your foundation. The feet draw together, hugging that energy of the midline and creating a stable foundation. Then you're going to sweep the left arm forward, up and over, and come to warrior two. Scoot back so you can see. Follow your drishti, your gaze over your front hand, fingers spread wide. Draw the back arm a little bit so your shoulder is aligned over the hip. Bend into that front knee, turning the knee out towards the pinky toe. Inhale, lengthen the side body, and exhale, reach in both directions, shining out through the fingertips. Draw the back hand to rest on the thigh. The front palm lifts up and reverse the warrior. Keep bending into that front knee. And then draw the front arm to rest above the knee. The left hand comes onto the hip. We're going to draw the top shoulder up towards the back so that you can try to align this right shoulder with the left, one on top of the other. Draw the throat back and lift the top arm. Then draw your hands, your fingertips forward for extended side angle pose. You can gaze up towards your hand. Feel the strength in your foundation. That's a place where we can reach to when it's harder to envelop some of the more difficult experiences from the year with love. Find that strength in your foundation to open your heart to something more. And with the top arm, lift up, come back to warrior two. Inhale and exhale. Sweep the back arm forward, come up off the back heel for high lunge. And exhale, touch down, and you can come to downward facing dog or move to vinyasa. I'm going to meet in dog in a moment. Inhale, sweep the left leg up towards the sky and forward for runner's lunge. Find your steadiness, find the strength in your foundation to embrace this year with love and draw the feet together energetically. The right arm reaches forward towards 2021 and then sweep up and over. Warrior two. And come back to this moment, still in 2020. Holding space for grace. Rooting down, finding that strength to then inhale and lengthen and open the heart. Take the back hand to rest on the thigh. The front palm lifts up. Reverse your warrior. Reaching up through the fingertips while still rooting into the space, keeping the front knee bending deeply. And bring your forearm to rest on the thigh and push away to create space here. There can be a collapse in the neck. So push, root your forearm into the knee and push off. The right hand's on the hip, but it's going to come and lift up and then point forward. Inhaling, opening the heart, and exhaling, sinking into your foundation. Let the grace of the earth be a foundation for you to find strength, to embrace this year with all of the dark and light and the difficult, the painful, the joyful. All of it together has made us who we are in this moment, and we can choose how we experience this moment with all that comes with it from the year. Inhale, lift off the top arm, come back to warrior two. And for a moment, inhale and lengthen, and exhale, soften. Sweep the right arm forward, come off the back heel, and come to rise up for high lunge. Then exhale, the back foot steps forward to meet the front. Come down for a moment in Ujjangasana and reach the heart forward. Just to take a moment to bow in reverence. We could have just come right up to Tadasana, but sometimes it's nice, I think, to settle after we've moved through a sequence and to pause. And I'll even stop talking and just let you be with what comes up in this moment and to bow. Bend the knees, release the hands to the hips, firm the muscles in your thigh and your core, and use that strength to rise with grace all the way up to Urdhva. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the heart into the hands and open. And release the hands down to Tadasana. From Tadasana, sweep the arms all the way up and the right hand comes to clasp the left. Reach, 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 and exhale and bow to the right side. With each inhalation lengthening and each exhalation softening and folding. Inhale, return to center and switch sides. Now left hand to right wrist. Inhaling to lengthen and reach for the sky, and then exhaling to fold. Breathing deeply, it's the breath that can help guide us with grace through each memory, through each moment of this year, to breathe and find our way to the other side. Knowing that grace doesn't always maybe look like what we would think grace should look like. But just getting to this space where we are is just a beautiful accomplishment. I hate to say accomplishment because that just feels like, the US Puritan we have to achieve, but you should be proud of yourself. Return to center, release the hands down. Feel a moment of grace for being here. We're making it all the way towards the almost solstice in 2020. Still standing. We're still practicing our yoga on and off the mat. That is grace. We're going to come to move through a standing balancing pose sequence to find that strength in our foundation and to bow and open the heart. So we're going to start with, I'm just coming to the back of my mat so that you can see me a little bit better. Keep cutting off my head. Which I'm sure is like some kind of there's a story behind that and Hindu deities, but it's not intentional. So we're going to move through Garudasana, so eagle pose. And we're going to move from eagle pose into dancer, which we've done the last couple of weeks. These are poses that draw our energy in, so that bowing, that purna, that fullness, but also that allow us to open, so that we can, in this practice, as we're kind of embracing this year, we can also open to letting it go and moving forward to the next year. So place your weight in your right foot. You can take the hands to the hips or to Anjali Mudra and lift the left foot, flexing the foot, spreading the toes wide. Root your left hip down so that your hips are level. Then bending the right knee, cross the left leg over the right. Whee. Take a moment to find that foundation. It can help to find a spot on the earth ahead of you. The earth is an incredible grounding force. Then bring the arms forward parallel, integrate the shoulders on the back. Take the right arm under the left. The hands come to wrap. Inhale, lifting, and then exhale and bow. Drawing the elbows towards your knees, any amount, and breathing into the space behind your back and expanding. Feeling 360 degrees all around your heart. For that energy pulsing, that vibration of grace. And inhale, lift up, release the arms, release your left leg, take the left hand to the top of the left foot. Bring your right arm forward, palm facing up. Pause as you inhale, drawing that grounding force from the earth, and then bowing forward. Drawing that grace with you, pushing your foot into your hand, hand into the foot, finding your unique expression of what grace and reverence looks like in this moment for you. Inhale, come back, release everything down. Release the knees, just sway a little. There's a lot of muscular energy in that space, and let's draw like a little organic softening energy. Let everything fall away to allow grace for this moment. And return to center. And find your way to Tadasana. So we'll do the other side, creating that balance in our energy. Inhale, breathe in, lift the heart, and exhale, settle. Placing your weight into your left foot. The right leg lifts up, bending at the knee, flex the foot, spread the toes wide. Take a moment and find your foundation. Find that spot on the earth that helps root you into this space. Steadiness. Then the left knee, cross the right leg over the left. Bring the arms to parallel. Shoulders integrate on the back. The left arm under the right. Garudasana. Inhale, lifting the arms, and exhale, bowing any amount. Bending into the left knee. And breathing. You lose your steadiness. That's okay. That's grace also. On an inhalation, rise up, release the arms. Release the legs. Come to find your right foot with your right hand clasping the top of the foot. Knee pointing down towards the earth. Root your right hip down so that your hips are level. Find your steadiness. Find what grace looks like for you in this moment and bring your left arm forward, palm facing up, and bow towards that. Drawing your right foot into your right hand. I am not very steady. That's okay. Hold that. And when you're ready, exhale and release. It's always interesting how like one side of the body for like, not just for me, but I think this is pretty quote unquote normal for one side of the body to be steadier than the other. And it can change throughout the course of the day because we have different energies that run through the left and right side of our bodies. And we can do breath work, we can do asana, try to create that balance as well. The practice of grace is to notice that unsteadiness without adding a story to it. That can be challenging. So coming to the front of your mat, I'm going to stay back here so you can see me, but coming to the front of your mat, find your way to Tadasana. Release the knees, lift the heart gently, the shoulders come back, maybe even lifting the corners of your mouth. And taking a moment to feel that energy of love just for a moment. We're invited in. And then inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, dive down to Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the sky and exhale, sweep the right leg forward, runner's lunge. Draw the left arm forward, then sweep it up and over, windmilling to warrior two. For a moment, pause in the space of a warrior. Certainly this is a year that may have called upon your inner warrior energy more than other years, maybe less. I mean, every year brings with it different challenges, different joys. Inviting this grace, this reverence. On an inhale, straighten the front leg and wrap your arms into a hug asana. Then exhale, sweep the arms back into warrior two, bending into warrior two. We're going to repeat that, just following the breath, your own rhythm. Inhaling, straightening, hugging, exhale, open, warrior. So it's a softening and an engaging. This is an intentional practice, opening the heart and trying to invite grace and reverence for all that is. Maybe even creating a little bit of like a fluidity to it. But there's no need, just move in a way that feels nourishing for you. Slower is fine, fast. Coming back to warrior two, pause and feel that vibration. We're going to straighten the right leg, bring the hands to the hips, turn the back foot in and actually step in about halfway or a little bit, maybe like a third of the way. We're going to turn the hips forward. So you've got the back foot at a 45-degree angle, hips are squared. That makes it a little bit easier to square the hips. And we're going to bow. This is Parsvottanasana. So it's a really nice forward fold. It also helps to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit. Let's begin just by opening the heart and then drawing the arms forward, touching down on fingertips and bowing forward any amount. Maybe your head comes to rest on your front leg. It doesn't need to. With the hands up on fingertips, draw the heart forward on an inhalation and then bow one more time. Root the right hip back as much as is available to you because this is a deep stretch. You might notice that after 10, 15 seconds in this pose, you're able to soften and draw the left hip forward and the right hip back a little bit more. And bow maybe even a tiny bit more deeply. I notice that my legs move a lot when I move into a space like this because my mind thinks that my body is in danger, just because there's so much tension in my hamstrings. So I can intentionally soften the muscles around the bone and release a little bit and bend a little bit more deeply. But it takes that grace and intention. Bend the front knee, push up, bring the hands to the hips. And we're going to turn and parallel the feet and step back to a wide stance. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged stance. Making sure that the outer edges of each foot are lined up parallel with the short end of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold forward, coming down on fingertips. And again, inhaling, drawing the heart forward, and then exhaling, bowing with reverence. Find equilibrium in this space, rocking the body forward and back until you find that equal weight placement on each of the four corners of your feet. And again, see if with the passage of time and with the grace of intention, you can soften a little deeper. Inhale with the heart. Come forward halfway, bend the knees, release the hands to the hips, and rise up. And we're going to move into warrior two on the other side. I'm going to just come and turn around so that I'm facing you. But you can do this just from where you are, unless you want to turn around. It's totally up to you. Reach out, warrior two. Hug energy to the midline. Draw the feet together and root down into this pose. And on an inhalation, straighten the front leg. Wrap your arms together. See if you can take the opposite arm on top than you did on the other side to create a little more balance. Exhale, release, inhale. Finishing this last round, come back to warrior two and pause. Feel that vibration. And allow it to move through your whole being. We'll take our hands to our hips and hop that back foot in a third of the way. Turning the toes and the foot forward at a 45-degree angle so that we can draw the left hip back and the right hip forward. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold. The hands touch down on fingertips. And for a moment, pause here. Find your foundation. Inhale the heart forward and exhale and fold. Soften your jaw. You can soften the muscles in your legs. Soften the muscles away from the bone. Draw the left hip back, the right hip forward. That is accessible for you in this moment. And soften. On an inhalation, draw your gaze forward and you're going to step all the way back to downward facing dog. And bend the knees and come to sit back on your heels and take child's pose. Child's pose, visualizing that radiant light that is your heart from the front all the way to the space behind the heart and universal. Feel that vibration, that light, that grace. It's brought you all the way from January 1st here to almost the end of December. As you're ready, on an inhale, find your way up to sitting on your heels, your hands resting, palm facing down your thighs. I'm feeling grace pouring in through my window with all these lights shining. Makes it a little easier to smile when there's sunshine. I'm going to take a moment to enjoy that. And I invite you to enjoy it also. Inhaling your heart, opening across your chest, drawing the throat and the shoulders back, rooting down to the earth, but also rising up. Feel that vibration of all of the energy that we've been creating in this practice. And draw that from the earth all the way up to the crown of the head and feel it just pouring out in radiant light from every pore of your being, just this shining light. We're going to come to sit in the center of the mat. We're going to come into a reclining bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. This is a pose that often, when I've done restorative yoga classes and taught them, that you can do with props. So if you happen to have, I didn't really think of this, but if you happen to have a pillow or a blanket nearby, Baddha Konasana is where you have the feet together and the knees up. And it's nice to have them supported. It's nice to have some support to help us open our hearts, right? So if you have something, I have like a ratatouille here, I have a panda, I could put those under my knee. And we'll start just seated, and you can draw the flesh of your buttocks wide to create a little space. And we'll start here seated, and then we're going to turn it into a supta, which is the reclining bound angle pose. For a moment, feel yourself supported by the earth, by these props, and place your hands on your ankles, shoulders and throat draw back, and then you can use your hands to draw your heart forward and up, lifting and opening, and then as you exhale, bow with reverence forward. It doesn't have to be a deep bow. We're coming towards the end of the practice. Just want to hold that vibration of the practice and hold space for grace. Take a really full and cleansing round of breath. Cleansing, breathe like you mean it, like really inhale through your nose, allowing just everything in the air, and exhale and sending it away like you mean it with intention. And then inhale, lift the heart. We're going to take the hands behind us and just walk them back gently. You can come to rest on your forearms and then slowly lie back, holding that bound angle with support. And you can take one hand to your stomach and one hand to your chest. And relax into the space, allowing the earth to hold you. Just breathing. Next inhalation, we can remove the props or pillows from underneath your knees and draw your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your knees. Upasana, you can rock from side to side. And then hugging your right knee into your chest, release the left leg down. You're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right knee and your right arm out to the side, palm facing the earth, and draw the knee away from your right arm. Your gaze, if it's available to you, can rest, looking out over the right hand. Breathe fully. Inhale, return to center, release the right leg down, draw the left knee in, give it a hug. With your right hand to the outside of the left knee, left arm reaches out. Draw your knee across the body of the right side, gazing out over the fingertips of your left. And breathe. Breathe all the way into your heart, expanding your chest, and then release. Inhale, return to center, release the legs down, the arms come to the side, and we'll do a full body stretch for balance on both sides. And inhale, windmilling the arms up and over the head, stretching through the fingertips, through the toes. Breathing in the space for as long as it's nourishing for you before exhaling and drawing the arms back to the side and repeating that 2 more times. As you find yourself moving through that third full body stretch and coming to rest with the arms at the side, we're now coming to Shavasana. And so find your way to a very supported, soothing Shavasana. If you've got blankets or you want to put socks on, or you have a cozy pillow that can bring you some comfort. Just because we grow a lot when we lean into discomfort doesn't mean that we can't also reach for the things that bring us comfort in difficult times. And I think yoga can provide all of that. Take your time. Find a soothing space that allows you to melt into the earth, to cease from efforting, but also to hold on to that grace and that open heart. chatur zindagi ka ranas, ish chizist kato anjamidi, toya ka kobi mikoni, waishist namin as. Love is how you live. Love is what you do. You do something good. Kobi mikoni, waishist namin as. Life is much too short. We have to carry on. The only ship there is the one we are all on. Ishchator zindagi karanas, ishchizist dako anjamidi, toya ka kobi mikoni, waishtish namin as. And that is love too. Slowly begin to find your way back into this moment with grace, with reverence to your heart. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Using the breath to guide you back into this moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes, whatever feels nourishing for you, to gently, easily, but with conscious intention, find your way back. Find your way back. As you're ready, on an exhale, drawing your knees into your chest and rolling to your right side for a moment, and pause. Then using your hands to push yourself back to a seated position and come to Sukhasana, Tadasana, whichever you're drawn to, maybe crossing the other foot in front. So we bring this practice to full circle as we're bringing this year full circle. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes or keep them soft for another moment. And with intention, soften the outer body. Feel the inner body bright. Feel that light of grace, strong, full of vibration within you. And know that that grace is within you and that you can find ways to invite love to wrap itself around each moment. You can embrace it, and then you have permission to let it go. So as you inhale and lift your heart, breathe it all in, wrap everything with love. And as you exhale and bow to your heart, let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. That seeker of the light and grace, that seeker who wishes to be able to wrap all of life's ups and downs with love, bows to the seeker within you who's also on that path. And bow and honor your practice. Namaste.